Today I'm going to talk about healing is not about others, especially your ex partner. Most of the women think like when I talk about healing, sometimes my clients initially they say, I really want to ignore, I have to erase that memory, only then I can heal myself. That is not healing. Healing is not about it cannot happen that way. So I want to talk about this particular topic. Healing is essential for everybody. If you're carrying any real heavy emotions, that doesn't help you to move at ease. Now, heavy emotions are generally anger, sadness, hurt, guilt, resentment. And because of that, if you're depressed and any such emotions, that is, it's not in a high vibration frequency. When you're happy, when you're peaceful, you feel light, but these emotions will weigh you down. So that is why it's a heavy emotion. So that doesn't allow us to think clearly about our future. When I say future, not long term, like even the next hour, what should I be doing? That clarity we lose because of these heavy emotions that are holding in us, mentally as well as physically. After divorce or separation, when you are into the healing journey, it's never about your ex, it's never about him, it is about you. Once you healed, I think I felt that whatever the event that has happened, it definitely it was a very ugly experience to experience, but then I have understood a lot about me, like who I am, in the process of healing, and thereby I'm able to elevate my consciousness in how I think, how I behave, what are all my patterns, what are all my triggers. I was able to identify those things. So healing is a start point for you to understand yourself and stay connected within yourself. And it is important for a divorced woman, I say this repeatedly, because when you heal, your sister line, your mother line, your daughter line, it's healed. So we are not going to pass it on to the trauma to the next generation. And especially after divorce, I can see many children are being affected and they stay silent because they are not very vocal about it. We think everything is hunky dory. I'm separated now, I'm living my life, I'm going for my work, my kids are going for the school, everything is fine. In some cases, it may not. Sometimes the children might be a bit more rebellious or really vocal, and probably they are showing some temperaments which, as parents, as mom, if you're a primary caretaker, you may not be able to handle that. And it's not about something is wrong or something is broken or fixed. It's just that we need to take some time to heal and work through that process. So, what I'm trying to tell here is healing is not a choice, it's not an option. Especially like how when someone has encountered an accident where they have to go to a rehab and work on their movements and they work on that, it is very similar to that. A separation or a divorce is not something it just happens. There is a lot of grief in that, a lot of sadness, a lot of hurt, guilt, anger, insecurity, uncertainty. There's a lot of things happening in there, and definitely one needs to pause and slow down and heal yourself. So it is for you, the healing first step, it helps you to understand who you are truly and how you can navigate your life. How do you want to take your life further? It gives you the clarity. So if you're doing any sort of healing process now, that could be yoga, that could be meditation, it can be sound healing, it can be any sort of healing, but understand those healing process has to not just soothe you for the moment, but it has to actually help you to let go of the emotions. Breath work. Breath work is beautiful, but you need to go to that level to actually release your emotions. You need to be willing to do that. You got to give yourself that permission. It's not, I'm not going to forgive him, I'm not going to take it easy with him. And then it's also, sometimes I've seen women, they do all of this, but then after that class is done, they feel, I hope one day he learns the lesson. The way he has treated me, I believe he learns the lessons. And if that doesn't work that way, which means you're not healed. When you are talking about the other person in a negative aspect, or they should learn a lesson, as I said, they are not in the picture of in your healing journey. The events definitely happened when you both were there. There could have been some arguments, there could have been some heated arguments, there could be a bit of an abuse as well, or probably you have gone through a real acute domestic violence situation. So those things has to be healed, but it's not about him. You are letting go. In healing, I see there are few parts actually functions. One is the acceptance. The second is to process, to learn from why this has happened to me. What is the lesson that I'm learning through all these things? Rather than asking, why me? Why only me? For us, we feel like, oh, I am being tested, I am being thrown into this difficult situation, but I see others are living a very peaceful life. Now that comparison is not going to allow you to enter into the process of healing. One is just the acceptance that, okay, this has happened in my life. The second thing is to learn from the events that has happened. What is the biggest lesson that I'm learning, that I need to learn, which I'm not seeing it? If you keep asking those questions simply, you will get the answers. And that's the magic of healing. As I said, healing is a very natural process. All you have to do is to provide that time and space for yourself. It's not like it's going to be a 3 hour intervention where you just sit and then you think about it, you're going to heal. No, it's a work in progress. And every minute detail or clarity or the awareness that you get internally, that is a path, one step moving forward towards your healing journey. So the first part is, as I mentioned, acceptance. Okay, this has happened to me. Second is learning through what it is. And the third thing is able to let go. In a way, it's forgiving yourself. And the fourth step would be forgiving those who are involved in that a particular situation. In this case, definitely maybe your ex, or it could be your in-laws, depending on whom are there in your timeline. You need to do that. And when you do that, your life becomes really beautiful. You would not have any ego, you will not compare, you will not wish anything wrong for anyone. And I'm not saying this you will become in a philosophically right way, because you're not going to think about all these things. You will feel so light, you will feel so lively, you appreciate everything that's happening around you. And I'm not saying you will not have any ups and downs in your life when you're healed. That's not the thing. But when the up and down happens in a natural way, that is tend to happen to everybody, you will appreciate both in a very neutral way. Like, say, for instance, we will not be seeking significance. When I was not healed, I was in the starting process of healing. I was always seeking some sort of validation, some sort of importance from others. And when someone appreciates me, I would sit with that feeling like a child for a day or so. And once you healed, I'm like, okay, yeah, Sapra appreciates, you're grateful that you're able to help them. And then I thank them. I'm like, okay, I'm good. Now I have more responsibility to make things even more good for others. So I'm more aware in that sense, rather than sitting in that feeling like, oh yeah, I've been appreciated. And also when few challenges comes, whether it's with the work or financially, before healing, it's always a reactive. Now what do I do? how things can happen. Oh my God, my life is not changed yet. That was the natural reactive way of me thinking and behaving. But now, okay, this is happening, it's something testing me, so let me see what are all the ways that I can think to take it forward. So as I said, with healing, it's never about the other person, it's about you, how you are healing, how you're seeing the world, how you are seeing and treating yourself, and how you can navigate in the tough times, if at all, that you have to face. And you will be surprised to see yourself and to witness yourself that I'm not reacting or behaving the same way as I would do it. And yeah, a couple of things I just want to summarize before I wind up this. Healing is not about him or any others in the past. It's about your journey, knowing yourself really well. That is healing. And if at all you're doing any healing process, any methods like sound healing or yoga, meditation, breath work, and see to that you are able to go to the root cause of the problem and able to resolve from there. And when you do it, and if at all the thought is coming that I'm not going to forgive that person, or any time, not in short frequency, but if at all the thought comes and you're like blaming someone or you're feeling yourself victim, then healing is still has to be done. That is an indication. And with the healing, it's three things involved. One is acceptance, second is learning what this is all about, why this has happened, and what is the biggest lesson that you need to learn, so you don't have to repeat that pattern ever in your life. And also able to forgive yourself, and later on you will be able to forgive others who were involved in that situation in the past. Once you heal, your life is be beautiful. And if you're a mother and who are divorced, regardless of what age group your child is, this is something as a mother you can gift your child as well. By you healing, you're doing the noble thing ever. So trust the process, trust the universe, and I'll talk to you all soon.